Hello everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. My name's Tamara. If you have never joined me in my kitchen before, I am making tonight street corn, chicken, and rice bowls. So let's get started with that and see how they turn out. They are going to be delicious. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start with some chicken broth, and I'm going to go ahead and get my rice on cooking. So that will be ready when the chicken is ready. In a saucepan, 1.5 cups of chicken broth. You could use water, but it seems that you get more flavor in your rice if you use chicken broth. So I'm going to use that. You're going to bring that to a boil, and then you're going to add 1 cup of rice. I'm using jasmine rice. I'm going to go ahead and shuck my corn, and obviously you could use canned corn or you could use frozen. I am using fresh just because it is coming in fresh already from Florida. So let's get started and shuck this corn. I'm going to just shuck it, wash it, and cut it off the cob. And I'm going to cook it in a little bit of butter in a skillet. If you cut the ends off your corn when you shuck, it comes off so much easier. Actually just rolls off sometimes. You just want to cut the little tips off, and you can pull it off almost all at once. And I'll take it over to the sink and scrub those silks off. Okay, so I've got that done. I'm going to clean up my mess and go wash my corn, and we'll cut it off the cob. Okay, my broth is coming to a simmer. I'm just going to add 1 cup of jasmine rice. Stir that in and cook that 15 to 20 minutes until it's done. I'm gonna let it come to a simmer again and then cover it and turn my heat down. You just follow the directions on the package of your jasmine rice. While I do this, I want to thank you for watching. I'm not sure if I did that in the beginning, but if I haven't, thank you for watching. Thank you for stopping back by and seeing what I'm having for dinner. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, I'd love for you to do that. Come back and watch more of my videos and see if there's anything that you'd like to try. I'd always like to hear if you've tried my recipes. It makes my day when somebody stops me and says, "Hey, I tried your recipe and I will love your videos." You know, it feels good, and it's just a goal that I have to reach 4,000 watch hours in this year. So I am over halfway there, but it is a big goal. So I need your help. Here is my corn all cut off, and I actually only need a cup, but this will give me enough for leftovers tomorrow. Okay, I'm about to cook my corn. Got my heat on medium. I'm gonna put an iron skillet. You can use any skillet that you want. I'm gonna put about a tablespoon of butter. Let's get that ready. All right, the butter is almost melted. I'm just gonna go ahead and add my corn. And look, you don't want to overcook this corn. You still want a little bit of a crunch to it, especially if you're using fresh corn. So just put it in your skillet, medium to low heat, and you want to cook it until it turns a little bit of darker yellow. I'm going to turn off my heat after that. See the milkiness in the bottom. You want that to go away, and you want your corn to just turn just a little bit darker shade of yellow. I'm going to stir my corn and make sure that it does not stick to the skillet. There's a lot of sugar in corn, and it sticks easily. It's turned colors. It's a little bit darker shade of yellow. And before I turn it off, I'm going to go ahead and add my salt, pepper, and some chili powder. Okay, I'm going to add about a ½ teaspoon of salt. Got this on low. About a ½ teaspoon of black pepper. And now I'm going to stir that in and add about a ½ teaspoon of chili powder. Let's stir our spices in. And then I'm going to turn the heat off because I don't want my corn to get too mushy. I like a little bit of a crunch in my corn. Okay, and off the heat goes. Now I'm going to get the chicken ready. You could use chicken breast with this meal, but I'm going to go ahead and use thighs. That's just what I have on hand today. So I have 6 chicken thighs that I'm going to season with Tahin seasoning. And I'm going to go ahead and get these out of the package, and then I'm going to wash my hands so that I can go ahead and season my chicken without touching all of the other things. Okay, when I touch chicken, I usually try to keep one hand clean and then use the other hand to flip them over if I need to, or you could use a fork so both hands stay clean. But you want to really be careful while handling chicken. You could spread germs or bacteria that could make you sick. So be real careful when you're handling raw chicken. All right, I'm going to go ahead and salt the tops of these chicken thighs. And while I'm here, I'll go ahead and put my tahini on that I'm using. I'm so excited for this meal. I've been saving this recipe for just a good night. I have plenty of time to film tonight. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over and salt the bottom sides of these thighs. Whoops, I forgot one. Okay, and go for the tahini. If you've never tried tahini, it is so delicious. Wonderful on chicken. Okay, now I'm ready to go put it on my griddle. I am using my griddle tonight, and you might be wondering what the towel is back here. I cover my canister so that I don't get oil or anything splattered on the glass back there. So that's why I have a towel back there. Okay, I'm going to spray my pan, I'm going to spray my griddle with a little bit of olive oil. And it's getting warm, so I'm going to go ahead and get my chicken on to cook. Okay, we're going to make the dressing for this. And I'm going to make a little extra. Hopefully I have enough for my lunch tomorrow. So I'm going to make a half a cup. It's going to be a half a cup of mayonnaise and 1/2 cup of sour cream. I'm going to measure that out. I could eyeball it, but I'm going to measure it. So there's a 1/2 cup of sour cream. I'm going to start off with a 1/2 teaspoon of lime juice, and I can always add more if I need to. Just going to stir that in. And now I'm going to add about a teaspoon of chili powder, and I really don't even have a teaspoon. So I'm going to add what I have, and then I'm going to put just a touch of the tahini. I'm going to just mix it in and taste it first. About a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and about a 1/4 teaspoon of tahini. We're going to mix that in and give it a taste. We want to see if it has just enough tanginess from the lime juice. And this will be our dressing. So I've tasted it, and I'm going to add another 1/2 teaspoon of lime. So I'll put the recipe in the description, exactly the amounts that I used. So I've flipped my chicken over, and we're just going to let that cook until my internal temperature is 165 to 170 degrees. I feel like you can cook thighs a little bit longer. So I may go a little bit longer on those. Okay, the chicken is delicious. I already dished up my rice and topped it off with some corn. So I'm going to top it off now with the chicken that I just sliced up. And then I'm going to drizzle some of this dressing over the top. Top it with some cheese. And just for a little added color, you could add cilantro. I'm using some dried parsley just for a little bit of color. Okay, here's my street corn chicken rice bowl, and it's all ready to serve.